Hello everyone, Fiat here, and welcome once again to the world of Antiqwaria. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Eleshi prison in the city of Delaki, as well as taking a look at the projects in the city of Delaki that are currently under construction and how they're going. Now, one thing you may notice from the map, if you saw the previous episodes, or the very first one rather, is that there is a lot more water here now than there was previously. This is because the Eleshi are water worshippers, and the goal is to eventually fill the entire land that they're not using for mining or building with water, and we've worked hard to do that. So as we're coming back with our caravan full of goodies, you just take a look. As you can see, I've worked attempting to try to further define my borders between the Eleshi lands and that of the Minoso by constructing a wall and then filling the edge of that with water everywhere. This area has yet to be filled with water, but as you look beyond, you can see that I've put quite a bit of water down. I'm working hard to attempt to make it very obvious that the Eleshi are water worshippers, or worshippers of the water goddess, and they believe that they must spread the water of the goddess all over the lands. So any doubts as to whether or not this is a water worshipping people should be, well, vanish. And don't even ask how long this took because I was not keeping track. But yeah, it did take quite a while. That was the work of a couple days, I believe, and by days I mean actual real life days. But one of the biggest projects in the city of Delaki still remains the massive sewer system. And as I may have mentioned before, the sewer system was an afterthought because this city, being the city of water worshipping people, was built onto a lake, and having built or covered half the land area or the area of the lake before starting to build the sewer created a major problem of having to fight against the water. So we'll just get to the area here. However, there were two ways of approaching that. Do I hear a zombie in my sewers? Yeah. Anyways, there was two ways basically of approaching this. On the left side, I had to basically just go underwater and constantly try to fill it in with dirt, which is going to take a while because there's already buildings on top. But in the areas where there weren't already buildings, I got myself involved in the very long and tedious process of dumping lava down onto... Is there a zombie down there? Yeah, there's a zombie. Dumb zombie. Anyways, the long and tedious process of dumping lava over the water, turning it all into stone, and then mining it. So this was something that probably took me a couple weeks to do, but with this entire area here, I've removed the water from it. And now, as you can see, it's going to make it much easier to build the sewers to the rest of the city. Though I'm working to get the sand and gravel out of it for obvious reasons to get the resources. As we go through the progress, the sewer is ultimately going well. Still not ready to open it up for business. As you can see, I've got this blocked up here because that's where the toilets are that are going to flow down into here. But it is turning out very nicely. It's just going to be a hassle building it under where I've already got buildings and then fighting with the water. And here we have the area underneath the jail. Still need to finish this part. But we plotted out our course here, and again this area was once filled with water, but the long and slow process of dumping lava on top. But there you can begin to see our jail. But to look at it from above the sewer, yep, this is the Eleshi jail. It's right next to the area, or the Hall of Mandates rather. and it's made entirely out of smooth stone bricks, simply because, well, would be harder to escape from than wood. Now, given that I've actually interned at a jail, I kind of designed this based on some of my experiences. So we got to buzz in and be let in, buzz in again to get through the security gates. Now, first of all, we got to check in with the main office and the doggies in it. I've tried to create the illusion of computers and all that other stuff. And again, I know it may be weird having computers and using stone buildings, but whatever. We go into the jail cells here. We got the prison showers, of course. The jail cells, let's just open this up. Here you have the basic bed, and again, the functioning toilets. And that up there is pistons. They are holding back water, because, again, this is the jail of a water-worshipping people, and those who violate the water goddess, if they fail to learn their lesson via incarceration, the guards can at any time flip a switch that has the entire cell flood. It may seem cruel and barbaric, but that's what happens to those who defy the water goddess. Here we have another small shower area. And of course our lovely little guard here to control the prison population. But let's move on up to the control room. First, let's take a look here. We've got our doggy guardians, and you should be at your post, dude. Alright, now get up there. Back at your computer. Yep, so that's the main entrance area. Then here we have the officer's bathroom. Now up here you'll notice a hole there, and that is not because the structure is incomplete. It's actually part of the defense system. Now the way this defense system works, as you can see, there's lava up there, and the guards can at any time pull a switch that will cause this lava to flow down, and then it will then go down into here, completely filling this area with lava and blocking off the entrance to this door here, as well as the ability to get up to the guards' control area. And this is important in case of a prison riot. The idea is, if there is a prison riot, not only can we send lava down here to secure the control room and kill anybody that comes up here, we can also flip switches that flood the entire jail, thus drowning the guards underneath. Or not the guards, but rather the inmates. And the way this is designed is that all the doors and stuff can be switched open and close from the control room, as well as all the switches to flood the entire cells. And our doggy warriors are standing guard at the control switches. Yeah, this is kind of a somewhat elaborate construction, but once these switches are flipped, it will cause water to flow into the cell, and potentially drowning any inmates. Oh, like so. So let's just flip that off, since we have no inmates there to drown as of yet. And here we are at the computer and control centers, and this is the almighty switch for the lava system. And as you can see, it's linked up to here, next to where the lava pistons are, and then here we have our lava chamber that holds the lava from which it flows down. So a simple flip of this switch, and lava flows down, completely blocking off the control area and killing any inmates who would attempt to get to the control area and harm the guards. Now one could probably argue that this is a very, very cruel way to treat inmates and things like that, but the Eleshi belief system is simple. You defy the water goddess, then you deserve to die. May seem a little bit barbaric or unreasonable, but hey. But as you can clearly see, if the lava clears up here, it does completely block off the entire area down there. So anyone trying to riot is going to have a bad time, to steal a quote from South Park. And finally, we have the sleeping area. Now to take one final look from the outside of the jail. As you can see over here with the lava chamber, it holds all the lava obviously for it to flow down. Even though it's kind of square and like a typical skyscraper, I still think it looks somewhat decent from a distance. And naturally, again, because they're water worshippers, the entire top area of the building is completely covered in water. Hail the water goddess. And speaking of her, one final thing. Since this is, after all, in all reality, a made-up religion and faith, I thought I'd have a little bit more fun with it than just simply building a temple and having guidelines to go by. So, what does every religion need? Well, obviously, its own religious text, of course. And I did indeed write one, even if it took quite a while. So let's just head up here to our library where religious texts are stored. Religion. And what we have is their religious text, which is called the Silodai. And in it, it is 50 pages of talking about not only the past of our people and the revelations of the water goddess to them, but many, many rules about how the water goddess wants her people to live their lives. Yes, I may be a little bit crazy in doing this, but as I've mentioned before, I think, my goal is to create a land here full of rich lore and history because, well, I just love the rise of civilizations, and what better way to do that than to write many books, to create religions for them, and all that good stuff. But as cruel as the prison may be, the water goddess does have some good general guidelines of how the people should live their lives. You know, like, do not mock the old or weak among you, or I will send a strong young current to sweep you asunder. Do not lie, or when you swim in my bodies I may sweep you asunder, and say, I did not know they cannot survive when trapped beneath me. Maybe a little bit of sarcastical humor. And one of the other guiding principles, do not eat meat save from the creatures of my bodies, aka fish. I have given you abundance of food of the fields. Should you acquire meat, give it to those who cannot grow food of the land. Essentially, that's basically saying, since if you're not starving and don't have to eat meat, you shouldn't. You should be vegetarian, which is a goal or belief that the Eleshi hold dear. And then this one here's a good one. In all things be honest, and in all of your interactions in love and society have fidelity. Infidelity... Wait, what? Oh, did I seriously not finish that? Oh well. And then this one seems kind of cruel. Do not extinguish the fire in the house of the unjust. Let it burn. Yeah. Okay, I swear it messed up some of these pages. Oh well. Point is, I'm still kind of crazy in this regard. But oh well, it's fun, and that is what games are for anyways, and anyone who plays Minecraft and is actually serious, well, I don't know, this is kind of unheard of. Get out of my way. But yeah, there's the city of Delaki, how it's prospering, and its recent constructed prison. I am hoping for many more things to be built soon, and most notably the completion of my didnt research center here, which is an underwater research facility. But speaking of the didnt research facility, while we are on the topic of showing off what we have so far, might as well go ahead and show that this is yet another project, though, that's going to take quite a while. Although, on a side note, if I can get down here, I am kind of pleased with how the bridge in this area turned out. But it is the long and slow process of constructing a road from the didnt research facility up to the city of Delaki. Now, on the surface, the research facility may not look like much, and that's because it's going to be a massive underground and underwater facility, which is going to take a while considering that we once again have to fight with the currents and things like that. But it is the facility where we intend to test what all is actually possible with water and other elements. So like all or most Eleshi structures, the top's covered with water, and here we have the entrance. Go down. We got a layer of water there, and then signs, of course, preventing the water from falling down, and the floors are basically covered with water. Here are the sleeping quarters. And then down here is where the huge underwater construction and research area is going to be. The idea is to cut this out for quite a huge distance and then have one huge area for research labs and all that good stuff. But like many things in Minecraft, it just takes a while. But this is kind of an experimentation too with the so-called water elevator, because you don't need ladders or stairs when you have water on top of you and signs like this. You just got to jump up and you'll eventually rise to the top. But there's what I got so far with the Eleshi. I thank you all for watching and have a great day.